Well, if you've had enough of smoking nasty cigarettes, I know a bloke from Yorkshire who will tell it like it is. He's got the best advice and you should listen when he says, don't smoke cigarettes, vape it with Les.
Hi guys, it's Les here over in West Yorkshire. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. Well, today's video is basically in response to Alan's question. Alan asked me to do, as well as lots of other people, asked me to do a video on the Shekits, what they are, etc, etc. Well, a Shekit used to be called a Shekit, right? A Shekit. And if you remember, it's because we couldn't decide whether or not you put your stuff in it and then Shekem or Shekit, you know what I mean? So anyway, we ended up deciding we're just going to be called Shekit, so that's what they're called. And effectively, it's just like everybody else. It's a bottle shot and all that kind of stuff. They're all the same kind of things. Effectively, what it is concentrate, i.e. flavour, in an appropriate size bottle for the amount of concentrate that's in it. So it's just like as if you've gone out and bought a bottle of concentrate. It's just that we've pre-measured it and put it in the correct size bottle for you. Now, on the instructions on the bottle itself, each bottle has its own instructions on it, as well as more in-depth instructions on various combinations that you can have are all on the website. But the basic information's on the label as well. Now, there's three basic versions of the Shekit. You've got the ones which are the traditional flavours, you know, fruity, fruit pastels and stuff like that. Now, they're used at 15%, 15 or 16%. That's the default. The next range is the hybrid tobaccos, the hybrid nets. Now them we use at 20%. So obviously the combination of ingredients on the back is slightly different to keep the combination of your juice the same, the ratio. And the other one that we've got is the pure nets. Now pure nets are used at 25%. So again, they've got specific instructions on the website and on the bottle. So effectively what we're going to do, this is a bottle of juice, right? This is a standard bottle of juice off our nets range. Actually it's a hybrid, it's Don Benito. Price on these is 15 quid. So that's what you're wanting to create yourself. And that's how you do it with these things here. Now these come in three different sizes. These are 120s, just a straightforward 120 size bottle. We also do them in 250ml bottles and 500ml bottles. So if you get a particular favourite, you can make a batch up and allow it to steep up plenty of time, like, can't you? So that's the basic principle of these. So all you're going to need is the Shekit of the flavour that you're fancying. You're going to need a bottle of VG. Now the VG comes in 250ml and 500ml, as well as litres and 5 litres. But for, you know, just starting out, if you get a 500ml bottle, you're going to be able to get probably about 4 of these out of it. You also need a 250ml bottle of propylene glycol, just plain PG, so that's your basic ingredients. You've then got an option for your nicotine. If you're using nicotine, you can either use the Nicotine Shots. Now the industry standard for shortfills and stuff like that is an 18mg VG nic shot, so that's what we're basing this principle on, because it's a standard thing. The other alternative is that you could use the 72mg nicotine if you've got access to it. Now all of these things you can still buy. This nicotine concentrate you're not supposed to be able to buy, but you know, you can buy it everywhere. There's not a problem getting that. But if you feel safer, use the Nicotine Shots by all means. So that's basically it. We're going to need a syringe for measuring the propylene glycol. The VG we're not going to need to measure because we're just going to be able to put the rest of the ingredients in here and then fill it up basically to the neck. So you don't really need to measure the VG at all, it's just the other bits you need. So I'm going to show you on the close-up cam what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make up one of these. In fact, I'll probably make them all. We've got a fruit pastels, which is one of the standard ones, so this is going to be used at 15–16%. We've also got a Don Benito, which is actually the same as that juice there. This is going to be used at 20%, and again, the amount's already in there. And this final one is Latakia fire cured, which is a really intense smoky tobacco. And this one is used at 25%. So we're going to make all three of them up. So I'll show you on the close-up cam what I'm actually on about. Move my chair a bit. I'll have a little slurp of coffee if you don't mind, because I'm gagging. Look at that baby, it's been sat there 20 minutes. Right then, so these are our bottles. We've got a fruit pastels, we've got a Latakia fire cured, and we've got a Don Benito. So let's just take this one first. So on the fruit pastels one, the instructions are there on the back. I don't know if this will zoom in close enough for you to read them. I'm not too sure if it will or it won't. I don't think it will. Do it like that. No, will it help? Right, so you can't read these instructions, but I can. So it says here, in all cases below, add the PG and or nicotine to the Shekit, and then filter the bottle up to the shoulder, which is a little line on it here. Look, can you see that? Little line on that shoulder. So you fill it up to there. Now if you're wanting it is just shisha, i.e. no nicotine at all you've got to do for an 80-20 mix with this one is add 4.8 millilitres of propylene glycol. Right, that's all you need to add to this bottle, and then you simply fill it up with VG and give it a good shake. And that's it. That is that completed. And the same thing with 70-30, 60-40 and 50-50. If you wanted no nicotine, the instructions are there straight away. If you are wanting nicotine, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, but than you would expect. So if you're wanting nicotine for a 120 size bottle, if you wanted it at 1.5 milligrams, you only need to add 2.5 mils of 72 milligram nicotine. If you wanted it 3 milligrams, you need to add 5 millilitres of VG nicotine, and this is 72 milligram, don't forget. Or if you wanted, you could add 2 10 mil, which is like this, 2 10 mil Nic shots, 18 VG, right? So that's what I'm going to do. With this one, I'm just going to make it up so that it's a 0 nicotine, right? So this one is a shisha one, and I'm going to have it 70-30. So on here it says add 16.8 mils of PG, right? So that's what I'm going to do to this. So let's just do this for you. Straightforward. $16.8 mils. So that's 10. 10. And then I want another 6.8. 6.8, just there. Fill that up. Put that down, put the cap back on the PG. And now all I need to do is fill it up with VG. Like so, up to the shoulder line. Put that down, put my cap back on. Put our bottle cap back on. And that's it. That is now effectively finished. And what we need to do now is give it a really good shake. Now I'm going to show you. You want to shake this so that you can no longer see any swirls in it. Ideally, at this stage, what you can do is you can just pop it into your microwave for about 20 seconds, and that will just warm it up a little bit, enough so that when you do shake it, it's mixing straight away. So that's that one done. That's as easy as that is, right? But let's say, for example, let's move on to another one. Onto this Latakia. So Latakia is a very, very strong flavour. It's one that I use mainly to put in other things to give it a smokiness, but I've got a lot of customers right around the world that love this. It is incredibly potent. Now this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it 50-50, right? So effectively I'm going to have to make half of this bottle up. So we already know we've got the flavourings in there. So for 50-50 I need to add 30 mils of propylene glycol, and that's because, don't forget, this is used at 25%, and 25% of 120 is 30 mils. So we're now adding another 30 mils of PG, plain in this instance, which is going to make half of this bottle, i.e. 60 mils propylene glycol, right? So that's your 50-50. So we'll do that now. So in this one, I'm going to add 30 mils of propylene glycol, which is going to be 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Right, so there's now 60 millilitres of propylene glycol in that bottle. Now because we've now only got 60 mils left, if let's say I wanted this in a 12 milligram, I won't be able to do it with nicotine shots at this stage, because we've already got 50% of the PG in there. So there ain't enough left, because we need 8 bottles in there to make it 12. So what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to use this 72 milligram nicotine, which is 4 times the strength. So in this one, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pull it out with a smaller syringe. I'm going to make this 12 milligram, right? So it's going to be a 50-50-12. Using this smaller syringe, I might have to pull it out actually. Using this smaller syringe, I'm going to pour out 5 mil. I'm going to do it in batches like, but 5 mils. So that's 3 milligram. Another 5 mils. So that makes it 6 milligram. Another 5 mils. That makes it 9 milligrams. And finally, another 5 millilitres. So that's 20 millilitres in all of 72 milligram nicotine. Right, so that's now 12 milligrams that we've got in there. All we need to do with that one now, same as the other one, top him to the shoulder. Like so. Put your cap back on. Put aim on. And again, that's that one done. Give it a good shake. Again, put it in the microwave, maybe 20 seconds, and then give it another good shake, and that will make sure that it's completely thoroughly mixed. And that is how you convert that Shekit into a 50-50-12. If you were wanting to use nicotine shots, what you would do is you would add 10 mils of PG to this, and the rest of it you would use 6 VG nicotine shots and 2 PG nicotine shots, and that would make it 50-50 again. So you can do it, but you've got to take it into account from the beginning, not at the end. So that's that one. So that's 2 of them done. So right now I'm going to show you how we're going to be using the nicotine shots. So this time we're going to be using Don Benito, and this one is used at 20% because it's one of the hybrids. So on this one, what we need to do, I'm going to make this one 3 milligram, and I'm going to make it 70-30. So what it says on the back is I need to add 12 millilitres of PG to this. So we do that now. 12. There. Right, so that's the ratio we've now fixed. Put the cap back on. So we're going to use 2 nick shots in this to make it 3 milligram. So these usually come sealed. We're going to pop the cap off. Now they have got little spouts on them, but it does make it a little bit awkward and slow to get the stuff out, especially when it's cold. And this is where a lot of people forget that a lot of the vegetable glycerin, which is going to be thick, is stuck to the bottle. So you've got to give it plenty of time to come out. So let's just pop this cap off, which is going to make life a lot easier. like so. And then I find the easiest way is just to tip it upside down and sit it there like that. Can you see that? On top. It's just sat on top. And the VG, it will come out, but because it's cold, it's going to be slow. So if you give it a squeeze, if it's not moving fast, and then what you'll find is once you've got the majority of it out, the rest of it will come out quicker. You know, because it's not having to force its way out. Again, what you could do, you could just put these 2 nicotine shots microwave for about 10 seconds on full power, just as they are with the caps and that on. No more than that though, and that will liquefy the VG. It'll become much thinner and it will come out quicker. So I'm just going to show you something here. Right, now most people would say, oh well, that's it, that's my nicotine shot done, right? So I'm just going to put this down a sec, just to demonstrate. So that's the nick shot we've just used, right? So I'll put the second one in while that's sitting. Now for me, for the purposes of this video, it doesn't really matter, but you would notice a difference at home. So I'll get rid of this one. So again, this is making it a 3 milligram because we've got 2 nicotine shots. And these are industry standard 18 milligram VG nick shots. To speed up the video, I'm going to call that done. But what I was showing you, I don't know if it's demonstrating, it's not very warm. Come on, focus. It's trying. No, it's not going to do it. What I was trying to show you is down here you've actually got some VG left in the bottle, and that's because it was stuck to the vertical walls while we were dribbling it out like this. So if you feel that your juice is not quite up to the line, it's possibly because some of your VG is still in your nick shot. So just bear that in mind, and the colder the temperature, the worse that is as well. Right, so we've now got 2 nick shots in there, we've got this PG in there, and all we're going to do now is top it up again. Up to his line, to the shoulder. Put the cap back on that. Put our cap on this. And give it a good shake. Again, you can nuke it if you want, microwave it for 20 seconds and then give it another good shake. And that's effectively it. It's as easy as that. So let's get back to me on the camera. Easy as that. It's not difficult. You've just got to, you know, it's best probably not to be doing it with kids running around and stuff like that if you're trying to think at the same time. But effectively, you know, it really is just a simple process of adding the pre-measured stuff. The only thing that you need to measure is the propylene glycol, because that's the thing that's going to change the ratio in the finished product, is your PG, because you know there's some PG already in. The nicotine shots are already pre-measured if you're going to use it that way. If you are wanting a 12 milligram though, and you want to use nicotine shots, you have to bear in mind that some of your nicotine shots are going to have to be PG, because you can only get so much in there. You know, so if you wanted a 12, for example, in a 120 bottle, you're going to need 6 VG and 2 PG if you wanted it 50-50, right? Because 6 of your 10ml nick shots is 60ml, which is half your 120, so that's your 50-50. You understand? So that's about it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right, so from this point on, you've got several options. You can either start vaping them straight away, not a problem with that. There's going to be no harm come to you. It's going to be delicious, just as it should be, right? Not a problem. Liam always makes them and vapes them straight away. Most people will be used to steeping it, which involves basically allowing the nicotine and the flavourings and ultraviolet light to react, and it will usually change colour. Usually it goes like a rusty orangey kind of colour. And what happens is that the flavours smooth out a little bit, so any rough edges on there smooth out. More of a problem or an issue or a factor in the ones that use flavourings, like the traditional juices. Once you mix them, they sometimes need a bit of time to steep for that raw edge to break away and soften down. With the nets, it's not an issue because they're already steeped. The very fact of making the flavouring is steeping. So for example, the which one's this one? This Latakia has been steeping for months, and the Canadian that I've used in this is 18 months. So that's what steeping is all about. But steeping works better as well, by the way, if you leave it in natural ambient light. It works a lot quicker and a lot better, but not in direct sunlight, because if you put it in direct sunlight, it'll make it go bitter, or it can make it go bitter, which is not what you want. You want it sort of like this kind of light. It's not in any sun, but it's equally, it's not in a cupboard either. If you put it in a cupboard, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to sit there. So yeah, that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Again, these come in 120s, which is this size. These are around about six quid, so they're not expensive by any means. Your VG is about a £5. This is about 4 quid, and it's going to last forever. You can see I've already made 3 and I've hardly touched that, look. So, same with this. So you're going to get at least 6 out of it, aren't you? So you can certainly save money, or if you wanted to spend a certain amount of money, you can get more flavours this way, can't you? If you wanted to do it, or you could just get us to make it and buy a bottle like that. It's the same thing, really, because you know the juice, the flavouring that's in this is no different to the one that's in this. It's probably from the same bottle. Do you know what I mean? So don't be thinking that the Shekit is different in some way to the juice, because it's not. It's out of the same batch. It's the same stuff. We don't play that kind of trick. Let me have a little slurp. I mean, there's a lot of time gone into this, into the nets and that. So if you're wanting to try these, having never tried a tobacco, this is perhaps one of the ways to do it. Like I said, all of the stuff that you need is available on the website, on our website. It's in the mixology department. It's better if you register on the website first and then log in, because some things are not visible to you straight away. You know, they're not visible to browsers, if you like. They're only visible to customers. So you will need to register and log in to see some of the stuff. But these Shekits are available in every single one of the flavours that we do, and we must do about 300 different flavours now. You can have any of the juices in the Shekit. If it's not listed on the website, just order one of the others and put a note at the checkout saying, I don't want this, I want this instead. And we can do that for you, it's not a problem. The exception to that is some of the special edition juices, because some of the special edition juices are actually made as a juice rather than as a flavouring. Do you know what I mean? So we've bypassed the flavouring section, so you can't make a Shekit out of that because it's already made up, you know, from the outset. But other than that, 99% of them are available as Shekits. I think that's about it. I think I've covered the bases for you. Like I said, they are available in 120s, 250s and 500s. And usually the standard one, which is all the normal flavours that we've had for the last few years, they all use this. This is 15-16%. The nets, with the pure nets, are 25%. And the hybrid nets, which has got some flavourings in there, are 20%. And it just takes account of the different strengths of stuff. But you can effectively make any combination of anything in this. The other thing is to bear in mind is the information that's on the bottle is only the basic information that you need to make it up. You know what I mean? If you're wanting different variations and stuff like that, you can't fit it all on bottle. But if you go to the website for the page of that product, because each page is slightly different, if you go to the page of that product, it'll give you a breakdown of different ratios and stuff like that. So I'm sure you can work it all out. Any probs? You know where we are. Anyway, that's about it for this video, folks. It's been quite a quickie, really. I'll have one quick pull on my tab box. A bit of spooky. Look at that rising from the mist. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you next time. See you later.